guys, and welcome back to Holy Grail Sports Cards. My name is Zach, and on today's episode, we're going to be talking about how to fund your PC. So, unless you're Mr. Moneybags and you're just made of money and you got unlimited money to spend, there's going to come a time in this hobby where you ask yourself, how do I fund my PC and get the cards that I really, really want? So, this video is going to be giving you a couple different options. I think it's important in this hobby to diversify and do a bunch of different things, and they're all going to help you get towards your goal. So the number one thing, in no particular order, I think is just to buy and hold sealed wax. So I know a lot of people out there are going to hate me for saying this. It's totally fine. But I'm talking more on the hobby front. I'm not telling you to go out and hoard retail, Target and Walmart exclusive products. I'm not saying that, but sometimes it is a good play to buy, Prism Hobby, Optic Hobby, Select Hobby, some of these products right at the release, because typically the at release price is going to be the lowest that it's ever going to be, especially when the market is hot. So Prism Hobby came on the market at around $400, $450, and we see it now at over $1,000. Optic Hobby, same thing, $400, $450, and now it's into the 600s, $550, $600. So it's definitely a play that you can consider. Spending $1,000 even to buy 2 or 3 boxes of something, and almost always in a hot market, a couple months later, it's going to be a couple $100 more, maybe even a couple thousand more, depending on the product. So I know for myself, I was buying Prism Hobby at $385. I got a really good deal on it. Bought a couple boxes of that, and now it's up over $1,200. So I'm just taking that money and putting it into things that I actually really like. So the number 2 thing is flipping cards. Many people do this, and it's a really great way to fund your PC. So basically what this is just finding undervalued cards that maybe the market hasn't caught on to them, and people are not really considering them, but you see a lot of upside in them. So maybe it's the sport of soccer, maybe it's vintage 90s football, 80s football, 70s football, maybe it's old school baseball stuff. Whatever it is, you just need to identify a trend. You need to identify more upside within a card that maybe, okay, Prism, Optic, Select are super, super high right now. So I'm going to consider NBA Hoops. I'm going to consider Status. I'm going to consider Chronicles, and you're buying things at a discount to the rest of the market, but you see a lot of upside in them. So great way to flip is to use ComC, and you just send your cards to ComC. They do all the work of scanning and making the listing, and then you just name your price, and then you sit back and sort of wait for people to make some offers at it. So that's a really, really great option. You have to flip cards frequently if you want to have cash flow, because if you put a lot of money into cards up front, you put a couple hundred, a couple thousand into these cards that you're speculating on, you need to turn them over and convert them into cash flow down the road, so that you can put it into things that you really, really like for your PC. Alright, and the number 3 thing is buying raw and then grading. So if you don't know what raw refers to, it refers to a card that's fresh out of a pack, that hasn't been slabbed, it hasn't been submitted to a grading company to be graded. So a raw card is just the card by itself in a sleeve and a top loader, and the seller is selling it as is. You don't know the condition of it. It could be a PSA 10, could be a PSA 9, could be BGS 9.5, whatever it is. Could be a PSA 5, 6. You don't know the condition. It could have surface problems. It could have corner problems. It could have centering problems. Centering is usually a lot easier to tell, just based off of the listing. But yeah, it could have issues. So there is risk involved. But if you're able to buy up, let's say, a lot of 10 cards, let's just say you're targeting 2017 Jason Tatum Prism base, and you're buying up 10 cards, and you're sort of picking over cards that you think would get a PSA 9 or 10 to make it worthwhile, to make it worth more than the raw card itself. And maybe you think, okay, 3 or 4 of these are going to gem, and you sort of sell the rest to collectors that just want a raw card, or just don't care about the grade. So this is what a lot of people out there are doing. They're just buying a raw card, let's just say for $50. They're grading it for another $10 to $15. They're in the card for $65. If it comes back a PSA 9, let's just say they make 120 on it. Let's just say a PSA 10, they can make 300, 400 on it. So those margins, those little gaps are the reason why people are, buying raw then grading. So, like I said, buying raw and then grading is not for everybody. There is some ethics involved, because you're not going to be sending in all of your cards that you buy raw. You're going to be sort of picking over them. You're going to be filtering down to get to the bottom, and then you are going to have to sell the ones that you're not going to submit. So there is some ethics involved in that, but not everybody wants to grade a card. Some people just want the raw copy, and that's totally fine. But this is a fantastic opportunity to make huge returns on your money. There was a guy on Facebook I saw a couple weeks ago. He was sharing his Zion project. So what he did, he invested $9,000 into Zion base cards from Prism this year, and I think he bought up like 90 of them. His total investment was around $9,000, and that's including all of the grading fees as well for those 90 cards. So he was getting them for under $100, and he submitted all the ones that he thought would gem. He ended up making about $27,000 after all the fees. So he made almost $20,000 by just buying cards and grading them and submitting them to BGS, because they had a faster turnaround time. So obviously, when you're doing this, you do run the risk of you're submitting cards and you just hope that the prices of this player continue to go up, and that they're trending upwards by the time that you get them back, and you can have them to submit to market to sell. This does run the risk of not getting what you even paid for the raw. You do run the risk of the player getting injured or hurt in the meantime. But for players like LeBron or Luka or Steph Curry or Kevin Durant, buying their cards, they already have somewhat of a market set for them. Maybe not Luka, but LeBron, KD, Curry, Harden. These guys are already established superstars. They already have their legacy, and these are definitely safer bets to buy up raw and then grade. So number 3, buy raw and grade. All right, and the number 4 thing is just buying things that you like. Buying things that you think have good eye appeal and that you think are undervalued, and you like the aesthetic of the card. You think it's relatively rare. It will be highly coveted. You have a thesis within your own thoughts. You think this card is going to go up, and you take action. But the way that you do this is you're going to buy up multiples of each card. So, because that's the biggest thing, lots of the cards that you're buying, you buy them because you like them yourself and you want to hold on to them, and sometimes it's really hard to let go of them when the market goes off, and now your card is worth a lot more, but you really like that card and you think it's going to continue to go up, but you still want to take some profits, and you just don't know what to do. So the best way is just to buy multiples if you can. So 2, 3, 4, 5 copies. So I know a lot of people are calling this sort of like hoarding multiple copies, but it is a strategy. It is a unique strategy because you yourself believe in the card, but you buy up multiples so that you can take some of the profit off and sort of let the other ones ride if you want. So what a lot of people do, they sell off enough to recoup their initial investment, and then they let the other ones ride free. So what that means is just they're in those other cards for free. And this is a great strategy to speculate, to buy up multiples, let the rest ride, and yeah, fantastic strategy. Alright guys, so I hope this video allowed you guys to learn more about how you can fund your PC and how you can make profit while collecting. So if you like this video, give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing to the channel. We're going to be putting out weekly content on the football, basketball, soccer, and even baseball markets. And my goal is just to help each and every one of you guys collect and invest in the grail that you always wanted. So this hobby is an amazing thing, and we all love it. So I look forward to hearing from you guys. What's your thoughts, how you fund your PC, and yeah, I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace.